everybody, and welcome to Baphomet's Lounge. I'm your host, the incomparable NSS. Well, it's been an interesting week this week, hasn't it? Unless you've been living under a rock, the Supreme Court has been on a little bit of a rampage. They slowly eroded your Miranda rights. They gave a lot of rights to guns. And then they eliminated abortion from a federal statute. For transparency's sake, I am a liberal. There's no doubt about it. I'd like to say I'm a reasonably moderate liberal. And I was going to go on about this topic, but I thought that if I'm going to really expound on my thoughts, it'd be best for me to sit back and think it through a little bit better, rather than just riffing like I generally do. I think riffing is okay if you're talking about, music and concerts, movies, stuff I really like, stuff that comes to me, and stuff where, in my opinion really doesn't matter. Because if you don't like an album or a movie or an artist or a book that I like, no big deal. But in this case, it's not really an opinion that matters. There are lives at stake. And naturally, the other side has a compelling argument. I mean, if you go to the Flat Earth Society's page and read their arguments, you could find them rather compelling, unless you did a little more of a deep dive into it and found out that they're using logical fallacies. So, something that I haven't done in a while, I dug out my critical thinking cards, and I decided to pull out another logical fallacy. In this week's logical fallacy will be appeal to emotion. And I thought, what an amazing concept here, what an amazing fallacy, because that's exactly what this thing is doing. It's appealing to emotions. So appeal to emotion goes like this. It's manipulating an emotional response in place of a valid or compelling argument. Appeals to emotion include appeals to fear, envy, hatred, pity, guilt, and more. Though a valid and reasoned argument may sometimes have an emotional aspect, one must be careful that emotion doesn't obscure or replace reason. And an example here was, Luke didn't want to eat his sheep's brains with chopped liver and Brussels sprouts. But his father told him to think about the poor, starving children in a third world country who weren't fortunate enough to have any food at all. See my point? Now in this case, Luke may be forced to eat his sheep brains and chopped liver with Brussels sprouts and spend the rest of his life being traumatized by the incident, like I was, and having, as a result, some strange eating habits. Did his dad get across to him the right thing to do? Therein lies the rub. So, when you're presented with an argument, look for these sort of critical thinking or these logical fallacies. And in this case, the appeal to emotion. It's probably one of the largest used logical fallacies in especially this abortion case. You've probably seen it a lot. Learn to identify it, think about it, and don't let emotions remove you from the reason. So, Wanted to keep it short and sweet because there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to think about. And I don't think it's going to get better anytime soon. And I don't think it's going to be good from what's coming up. But before I sort of go down that rabbit hole, I want to think about it first before I make any sort of decision. Because what I'm seeing may not be what's really going on. So, until next week, if you want, I have pint glasses for sale. And I also have koozies. And I also have coasters with Baphomet's Lawn's logo on them. Have yourself a nice schlug. And until next time, peace, my friends.